Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad, episode number 390. Why do we go into this world? And so what is the point of life? I've gone over this before, but it really, what's happening in the world today, the COVID crises and Antifa, BLM, a lot of protest movements. It's been making me think about why are we in this world for the most part? Because anyway, so let's go over the Baltimore Catechism really quickly. What is the point of life? The point of life is to know, love, and serve God in this life and be happy with Him in the next. Memorize that. You're supposed to memorize that. All kids should have that memorized by the age of 6. Probably most adults don't have that memorized, but to know, love, and serve God in this life, meaning be holy, live a sacramental life, be within His church, and to be happy with Him in the next, meaning get to heaven. That's essentially the whole point of life. The secular world, even the religious world for the most part, has kind of forgotten that. Like, the point of life is the salvation of souls. The point of life is the salvation, number one, of our own soul, that we're responsible for that. It's the only soul that we can actually change in any meaningful way and influence those that are under our guardianship, our kids, our children and our spouses, to help them get to heaven too. If we fulfill those missions, we fulfill a lot. But so you look out in this world, by the way, and there's people throwing bottles and Molotov cocktails at cops and bricks and so on and so forth within the streets, and they're protesting. And really, what are they protesting? Are they, and is their point of life to know, love, and serve God in this life and be happy with Him in the next? Yeah, that is their point of life. And is that what they're doing? If you look at it and you think about it, they're probably not doing that in any meaningful way. What they're trying to do is change the world in the way that they visualize the world should be. And so this is the whole utopian fantasy of the Garden of Eden. This is the utopian fantasy of communism. And it's something that we need to avoid in our own lives. And so, so the communists always wanted to make the perfect economic system that everybody can have heaven on earth and utopia. The problem is the world's fallen, and you can never achieve such things. Even Christ said that you'll never be able to eliminate poverty on this planet. And so the world is broken. And if the world is broken, is it our job to fix it? And the answer is no. It's actually not our job to fix it, because you can't fix it. It's impossible. I mean, the only entity in this universe that could fix the world and take away all human suffering and make it perfect and have the utopian dream and fantasy is God. That's it. You can't do it. It's impossible for you to do it. But He does give you a mandate on this planet that, hell exists and heaven exists, and it's your job to try to get to heaven. And therefore, the only person that you have direct influence over in any absolute way is yourself. And therefore, your whole job on this planet is to know, love, and serve God in this life, be happy with Him in the next, meaning go into your own heart, go into the desert, figure out what's wrong with you, and try to make those little adjustments in your life that you need to do, or large adjustments in your life that you need to do to make the world a better place. And I don't mean make the world a better place, go change politics or go fight the battles that need to be fought in society. I mean, literally, just become a beacon of light for the hope of the world. St. Mother Teresa once said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. I think that's probably a really good message, because if you do that, you're actually following God's commandments, and you're making yourself a better person through submission of family. And you're also, if you're loving your family, you're hopefully forming them in a meaningful way that they will go into this world and to know, love, and serve God in this life and be happy with Him in the next. And if you do that, consistently throughout your entire life, you could become a Catholic dad or a Catholic mom or a Catholic child, and hopefully you would be the beacon of light in this world. Now, let's go back to the Garden of Eden, because I do that quite frequently. Like, God gave Adam and Eve utopia, the one thing we can't have, right? But He also gave them a rule, and the rule was this: don't eat from the tree of knowledge. You can have everything in the entire garden, it's all yours. And they just couldn't deal with that. They just needed to go one step further and try to be like gods themselves. And so the people in this world that are trying to change the world in a political way, but not in their own internal hearts, are just like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So what do? If they do violence to you, you have to protect yourself and protect your family. But for the most part, they're not. And so you need to pray for them. And I would ask a lot of people to add to their family rosary, the people that think they can change the world. Because they can't, and they're not going to do it, but at least in a meaningful way. They may make it for the worse. And there was an old, the Eastern resistors of communism. I really like them. I've read them a lot earlier in my life. But there was a guy named Grigory Pomerantz that said, "The devil starts on the froth of the lips of angels, charging into battle for holy and just causes." Let's do that one more time. The devil starts on the froth of the lips of angels, charging into battle for holy and just causes. Now, if you think you can change the world in a meaningful way and go out and riot and loot and whatever, riot, or, go out and you have a political axe to grind and you're going to change the world for the better and reach that utopian dream, the devil starts on the froth of the lips of angels. If you think you can do it, you think you're an angel, right? You think you know better than everybody else. But in your passion and your zest and your zeal to change the world, you have this froth in your mouth. And the froth on your mouth, it's your passion. And who's in your passion? The devil could very well be in your passion. And another way to say this is this. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, meaning you think you're doing right, but you could be messing everything up. You really could be messing everything up and making the world a worse place for everybody. And I think in all objective measures, if you look at America today, we're not heading in the correct direction. We're heading in the wrong direction. And I think it's at the hands of the people that think they're doing right. They're kind of trying to change the world, tear down the order of the society and create a chaos so they can rebuild the world in their own image. And yeah, that's the fallen nature of man. It also won't work. And the problem is, whenever you do this, the hell that can be unleashed on this planet, you just have to go back and read the Gulag Archipelago or any of the Russian dissidents under Soviet communism. When people are well-intended and they think they're doing right, they can release absolute hell on this planet. And so, why do we go into this world? We go into this world to save our own souls. And we go into this world to help our children save their souls. And hopefully those people can go out and form a common culture, which is good for everybody else's soul as well. And I think this is probably a good note to the priests out there too. Priests are men, right? Men tend to be fighters, right? Men they want to go change the world and punch it in the face sometimes, hey, we need to go and forge this world and we need to do what's right and we need to go fight all evil. Well, I already said that you can't actually do that. You can't change the world in a meaningful way that way. And so the key is you focus on the salvation of souls. That's it. And the people out there, your apostles and your disciples, they're going to do the work for you just by being who they are. Well, anyway, and that's it, really. Being a good Catholic is you just follow the sacramental life of the church. You love your kids. You resist evil. You don't have to fight it or punch it in the face or burn it down, because you could be wrong. You actually could be wrong if you think you know what's right. And so the devil starts on the froth of the lips of angels, charging into this world for holy and just causes. Memorize that. And the point of life, memorize this, is to know, love, and serve God in this life and be happy with him in the next. And so the war that we as Catholics wage is within our own hearts down here. And if we wage that war in our hearts appropriately, the world will be a brighter place. And so this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, and pray the Daily Rosary. God bless you all.